I can't tell you how honored I am to be here. This is my first ATA convention. And over the years, I heard so much from my father. I heard ATA really almost my whole life. And I heard FIT, and I heard people's names. They were the soundtrack of my childhood. And some of you I'm going to meet here today, and some I didn't have a chance to meet. But in any case, it's terrifically exciting, and I'm so thankful and grateful that you invited me today. I have a little visual history for you, just a little. I did make a couple of scrapbooks that someone will tell you later where they're going to be, and you can look at them. They have a few photographs and a lot of early papers in somewhat chronological order, so it should be entertaining. But this is a purple mimeograph sheet of paper. I found many copies of this piece of paper because my father kept, I think, everything. And in the last year, looking through all his files and papers, it's just been amazing. It's been like visiting with him all along. And also just getting a sense of his commitment and involvement and love for this profession and for all of you. This is dated March 9, 1959. Said, I'm not going to read the whole thing. At a recent informal luncheon, a group of translation agency owners and executives discussed the desirability of establishing an all-inclusive, non-exclusive association of bureaus in the field to formulate standards, consider a code of ethics, recommend desirable practices, exchange lexicographic materials and information, in short, promote the interests of the field as a whole. This is to be held on Saturday, March 28th, Father's birthday, at 12:30 p.m. after lunch at the Prince George Hotel in Manhattan. Signed by my father. That's the note, that's the scrapbook. I also have here a membership list. This is the membership list from 1962. The recipe. Anyway, it's really little. It's really little. Really, really little. This is the directory from 2004, and the directory now is much bigger. So that's pretty amazing. So there was something on the screen a little while ago that told you all the things that were going on in 1959, what things cost and so forth. I was 8 years old, so you can imagine that the ATA has been with me my whole life. So has translation, and in a story my mother told me, she said when I was really little, I had an old manual typewriter cast off that was one of my toys. And the early Sunday mornings, I could have found piles of paper and a couple of red pens and my little typewriter, shuffling papers and writing on them. And she asked me what I was doing. And I said, translating. But I'm not a translator. I have 2 languages and I can write, but I tried it a couple of times and it's really hard. So much. Dad loved this organization so much. I have a couple of quotes. Things that he wrote that show how he felt. In 1967, when he was the outgoing president, I found an edited copy of his remarks at that time. Because really, it did say everything. As a national archivist, I have found many papers that the ATA has and may make sense of one day. He wrote, in 1967, there are still far too many translators of high competence who are not members of ATA, but of whom it can truly be said that they are indeed dependable. Our ultimate goal, therefore, should be to make ATA a kind of professional association which no serious translator can afford not to join. Here are members now, 11,000 now. And here's another snapshot. I was pleased to find an old videotape of I think it was called an old-timer session from 1995. Here's who I think was in it. I think Bernie Bierman was. I know Dr. Dingle was in it, and Steve was in it, and Rosemary Malia was in it, and they were just reminiscing for a little while. And Dr. Dingle said, who was the second president of the ATA, I remember in the early, even before I was president, this is Dr. Dingle, when Pagoda was president, I would say we would have board meetings once a month, usually at the office of Henry Fisher, which was right across from Grand Central Station, and would last about 2 or 3 hours, and that was it. And around September, we'd say, it's September already. I think it's time to start thinking about the annual convention. And we'd sit down and call in Waidu and rent the building, get up the list of speakers, and the whole thing was done within 2 or 3 months before the convention.
Just like that.
And now? I want to tell you a story from the end of my father's life, sort of about translation. Some of you know that he had a tracheostomy 8 months before he died, and so he was not able to speak. But being a translator, this does not mean that he was not able to communicate. We learned to read lips, we learned to read his mind, and there was plenty of communication. He was also on a ventilator for a while. And during that time, my partner's cousin, a good friend of ours, who works for IBM, came and met him for the first time. They had heard about each other. And within minutes, he was engaged and he was excited, and they were talking about machine translation and problems with quality control, and how he had translated for IBM along some of these subject lines in the past. And they were off and running. And she told him that when he got better, and at the time he was getting somewhat better, that she wanted him to come and talk to her teams, because he really got it, what the issues were. And I know this woman, and she was not kidding. She really meant that. She really would have liked to have him do that. During this conversation, which is what made it so powerful to me, the respiratory therapist came and turned off the ventilator, and that was the first time that my father breathed on his own in about 5 months, and he ended up being moved off the ventilator for his death. So that was pretty amazing, and the ways that language and communication and translation terminated. I want to share with you, in closing, a couple more quotes. I know it was mentioned to many of you, and I look forward to meeting you. I won't be here for the whole conference, but I'll be here for a while. Today and maybe a little bit tomorrow. In 1990. I wrote about the first 25 years of the ATA and the first 10 and so forth. And so all that was published in Chronicle. He wrote for the Chronicle a lot. a lot. I found drafts, I found copies, I found more copies, and then I found some more copies. But he wrote in a memo to Alice, Pat, and Kurt, and I think that was Alice, G, Pat Newman, and Kurt Kingold. He was sending them his draft, his summarization of the first 25 years of ATA. And this shows how he was committed to all of you, and how, what his dedication was. He wrote, and please read the enclosed and note any changes you would make. Perhaps you can suggest some anti-verbosity touch. If there is anything you think I should not say, just cross it out. So please pick up your itchiest pencil, throw away the kid gloves, and do what you think should be done in the best interest of the ATA. I want to thank you so much for having me here today. I look forward to meeting many of you. And congratulations on this wonderful, wonderful organization. Thank you.